Yes, indeed, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's Jay Jordan here, and today we're going to recap the Liberty's home win against the Dallas Wings on Sunday. They won that game 102 to 93, bringing their record to 6-2 overall, second place in the Eastern Conference. It was a very interesting game. It was a tale of two halves game, definitely. So we're gonna run down the box score, what I saw during the game because I was there, some of the press conference reaction, and then my thoughts at the end. As usual, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I post. Throw a like up there and leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll definitely get to them. All right, so for the first quarter, I got to the game a little late. It was an earlier than normal start, a 1 p.m. Eastern start. They usually start at 2, but this game was at 1. So I got there with, I think, around 6.5 left in the first quarter. I went back and watched the first few minutes of that game. And the Liberty, they started off strong. Sabrina Ionescu coming off her big 37-point performance down in Atlanta on Friday. She scored the first basket and got fouled, so she scored the first 3 points of the game. From that point on, it was a closely contested quarter. Going back and forth. Rike Gumbawale, she came out scorching. She scored 13 points in the first quarter. We were getting killed on the offensive rebound. Satu Sabali, Kalani Brown, Natasha Howard, they were grabbing all the offensive rebounds, leading to second chance opportunities for them. So we ended that quarter losing. Actually, it was 25 to 23 at the end of the first quarter. The one thing that I will say is in the second quarter, we stopped Enrique. She didn't score that whole second quarter, so she had 0 points. We started throwing a lot of traps at her, getting the ball out of her hand, forcing her to make tough decisions or make the extra pass or take a difficult shot. I think midway through that second quarter, we were still getting killed on the offensive boards. We were losing the offensive glass 11 to 1 at one point midway through that second quarter. So you can see where teams can really attack us. Even watching it in person, it looks like John Quall doesn't have the lift to get off the floor sometimes with the rebounds. Where a lot of times we're undersized on those the point guard and those forward positions. So I noticed that a lot of teams will start to attack us on the boards, which um, we're gonna really have to address if we want to compete for championships. The Dallas Wings are a big team on those forward spots. They have Kalani Brown at center. They have Natasha Howard. They have Satu Sabali. They have Awakuir. So they have a lot of tall players in those front court positions. So that's something we're gonna have to address. Our bigs are not super athletic. John Quell, Steph Dolson, they're not high leapers. So we're gonna have to really beat them with technicality, boxing out, getting a body on the boards so we can grab those rebounds. But all in all, it was a closely contested half. Towards the end of that second quarter, they started to pull away, and they had about a 6 point lead at half. Um, Totaled, I think their largest lead for the game was 9 points. Marine kept us close. She went on a nice little run in the end of that second quarter, and we ended that quarter losing 51 to 45. 51-45 at the end of the second quarter. Defense was lacking. We scored and they went coast to coast with about 5 seconds left. Odyssey Sims split our defense and got a layup on the other end. I think I posted on the Instagram. If you're not following, it's at jay.jordanTV Liberty. I posted a clip of our defense being so bad because I caught that play on camera. But in that second half, I don't know what Sandy said in the locker room. I don't know what happened, but Sabrina and Breanna came out firing. Breanna ended the first half with 13. Her and Sabrina scored the first 13 points of the third quarter for us, and we ended up taking a 56-55 lead midway through that third quarter. Sabrina, she really started hitting her shots. She After she scored those first 3 points in the first possession of the game, she hadn't scored the whole rest of that half. So it was great to see her come out. She started hitting her threes. She was driving to the basket, getting to the line, and our defense really picked up. We're forcing them into tough shots, forcing them to make tough decisions. So that 13-4 run really helped us, and from there, we just kept the foot on the gas and we kept pushing. We limited in that second half. We limited Satu Sabali to 5 points. She had 12 points in the first half, 5 points in the second. Arike, as I mentioned, had 13 points in the first quarter. She had 12 points the rest of the game. So we really forced their two gunners. We forced them into tough shots, forcing the ball out of their hands, and that allowed us to take the lead and never look back. That third quarter, we outscored them 34-17. That was the only quarter that we outscored them, but that was the biggest margin in the game of by far. We doubled them up in that third quarter. And that fourth quarter, they outscored us 25-23, leading us to the final score of 102-93. There was a nice spurt in that third quarter where we scored three straight. I think we scored on three straight possessions. I think Breanna hit a jump shot. Then we got a defensive stop. Then Sabrina hit a jump shot. Then we got another defensive stop. And then they pass it to Marine in the corner. Marine Johannes hits a corner three, and the Barclays Center was rocking after that. Some other news from that game: it was the first time the Sabali sisters have played against each other in the W. Niara Sabali, who plays for the New York Liberty, and Satu Sabali, who plays for the Dallas Wings. They played against each other for the first time in the W's. They guarded each other a little bit. I don't think anybody scored on each other, so they don't have bragging rights in that regard. But it was also a nice little Oregon reunion. As you know, Sabrina Ionescu played for Oregon, and the Sabali sisters both went to Oregon, and they were all there around the same time. So it was a nice little Oregon reunion, and thankfully, the Liberty have the bragging rights in that regard. For the Dallas Wings, Maddie Segrist, the rookie, that just got drafted this year. I didn't know this, but she's from upstate New York, Poughkeepsie, New York. Shout out Poughkeepsie, got some fam up there. But she's from Poughkeepsie, and I guess her mom brought a bunch of people down to the game. So they had their own little section where every time she came in the game, she scored. They were cheering loud. They had her name on their shirts. So it was nice to see that support for some players in the W. We're going to look at the box score now, and we're going to take a look at some of the team stats, areas of improvement, what our players did and what their players did. So let's take a look here. All right, so as you can see, the Wings 93, the Liberty 102. Marike Gumbawale 25 points. We limited 35% from the field. I mean, she's been pretty inefficient this season. She'll get a lot of points, but she'll take a lot of shots to get there. 8 for 9 from the line. Breanna Stewart 30 piece, 32. Very efficient, 75% field goal percentage. Satu Sabali, I think she had like 6 or 7 boards in that first half. So she had 11 rebounds, 5 offensive, 6 defensive. Breanna Stewart led the way in rebounds, 9 rebounds with 2 offensive and 7 defensive. Odyssey Sims, their guard off the bench, 8 assists, 1 turnover in 20 minutes. Very good assist to turnover ratio. And then our point guard, Courtney Vandersloot, 10 assists, 1 turnover in 29 minutes. Even better assist to turnover ratio. Let's take a look at the team stats. The team stats for the day, as you can see, their field goal percentage was around 39%, and we shot almost 56%. 3-pointers, they struggled. 6 for 23. We were 13 for 28 from 3-point range. That leads us to being 46% to their 26. As you can see, they doubled us up in free throws. They shot 28 free throws, making 23 of them. We shot 14, making 11. I think Courtney Vandersloot missed all 3 of the free throws that were missed for us. Rebounds, even though the final score, final total shows that we won the rebounding battle 38-37. As you can see, the offensive rebounds 14-5. They out offensive rebounds 14-5. Something we definitely have to clean up. The assists, we had 31 assists to their 20 assists. Very interesting stat or observation. Out of our 31 assists led to 39 field goals. So we assisted on basically almost all of our field goals in this game, which is good. It's showing that we're moving the ball, and the movement of the ball is leading to good shots that our players are making. They had 6 steals to our 3 steals. 3 blocks apiece. I think Breanna Stewart got all 3 blocks. She was blocking everything. I know I've mentioned this in past videos, but I knew she was a great offensive talent, but her defense is really surprising me a lot. She's been getting a lot of blocks and a lot of steals in these games. The turnovers, we have to clean that up. We had 11 turnovers to their 5, so we really have to clean the turnovers up. That comes with continuity, playing with each other more. I think we got some offensive fouls as well, so that contributes to the turnover. So we just have to be more efficient in those areas, and we'll be better off for it. They outscored us 50-40 in points in the paint. They have some big players. They were driving to the basket, so that's not surprising. We outscored them 19-10 in the fast break. See, they had 20 second chance points to our 5. 20 second chance points. Points off turnovers, we won that battle 7-6. Our largest lead was 14 to their largest lead, which was 9. Equal in the personal fouls. No flagrants, no technicals. Let's take a look at the actual box score and see more of the stats. We'll start with the Liberty, and then we'll come back to Dallas. Courtney Vandersloot, very good in her 29 minutes, 15 points, 10 assists, double-double. 2 for 5 from the line. See, she's the one that missed our free throws. 3 fouls, a +4 and the plus-minus. Sabrina, back-to-back good games after having a little bit of a struggle. 22 points, even though she only scored 3 points in that first quarter, as I mentioned. She scored 19 of the 22 in the second half. 22, 6-6, 7-16, 3 for 8 from the 3-point line, 5 for 5 from the line. 2 turnovers, a +21 in her minutes. But Nigel Laney, our defensive anchor on the wing, guarding the best players. She had, in 27 minutes, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 of 5, 2 steals, 5 fouls. We need to cut down on the fouls, but that's what happens when you're playing aggressive. Stewie, as I mentioned, 32 piece in 35 minutes, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Took 20 shots, most on the team, 15-20. Very efficient. 2 for 4 from 3. 3 blocks, a steal. All over the box score she is. Plus 19 in her minutes. Jonquel, 26 minutes, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 fouls. She's always in foul trouble. I don't know if it's because she's a little slow right now, so she's fouling more, but she's always been in foul trouble all these games we played, but she was a +17 in her minutes. Our bench didn't do too much besides Marine. Marine came in, hit 4 threes for 12 points. Had a nice no-look assist to Breanna Stewart. So they're building a little bit of a chemistry there. 1 rebound, 4 for 8. All her shots were threes, 4 for 8 from 3. 3 turnovers. We got to cut down on that. A -5 in her minutes. But there was a point where she got the crowd going with back-to-back threes. Kayla Thornton, another defensive anchor off the bench, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 or 2 from the field, 1 or 2 from 3. We don't need her to score a lot. We just need her to play tough defense, and when she gets that ball with the wide open 3, take those shots and hit those shots. Niara Sabali in 8 minutes, no points, 4 rebounds, only took 1 shot, 2 fouls and a turnover. Steph Dolson, I was gonna say when I was watching, I didn't really recognize her on the court, but it shows she only played 3 minutes when he had 1 rebound. Nothing too much to talk about. Hanshu and Jocelyn Willoughby, unfortunately, did like our checkered flag when we know we're gonna win the game. We put them in there. The crowd always goes crazy for Hanshu. She gets in and she gets to work. As soon as she touched the ball, she's looking to score. She really wants to prove herself. I know in the past couple press conferences, I know people have asked about Hanshu getting more minutes, but it's gonna be tough for her to get minutes, unfortunately. And I know she really wants to play, but she came in, took a shot, missed. Her and Jocelyn just got the victory lap minutes. For Dallas, Enrique Gumbawale, 37 minutes, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 of 20 from the field as expected. She's a volume shooter. 1 steal, 2 fouls, and minus 14 in her minutes. Veronica Burton, 3 points, 2 assists. She only played 18 minutes. I think Odyssey Sims took a majority of the minutes at point guard. She's not really a shooter, so if she's not dishing the ball or getting to the lane, she's not really stopping anybody on defense. She's more of a liability. Satu Sabali, 37 minutes, 17 and 11 double double. She's been doubling up a lot. 6 of 17, 2 steals. Natasha Howard, the ex Liberty player, homecoming for her. Home reunion. I shouldn't say homecoming because she didn't start her career here, but a nice reunion from last season. Excuse me. She had 14 points, 7 rebounds, 5 of 17, very inefficient. We shut her down really. Kalani Brown, 18 minutes, 10 points, 2 rebounds. She had a couple of nice moves on Jonquel, and we'll talk about those thoughts afterward. Odyssey Sims, 20 minutes, 8 points, 8 assists. She was really dishing the ball off. The rookie Maddie Segrist, 6 points, 6 rebounds in 19 minutes. Awaka Ware, 14 minutes, 3 points, 3 rebounds. Jasmine Dickey, 4 minutes, 7 points. Their bench definitely outscored our bench. We only had 2 people from our bench score. They had basically 1, 2, 3, 4 out of their 5 people who played. They scored. All right, so that's the box score there. I'm glad the Liberty snapped back after a dicey first half, and after losing their last home game, they came back with a vengeance. And that second half defense really turned up, and they ended up pulling off the W. One of the thoughts that I did have that I wanted to mention was our at the center position. When we're playing big centers like we played Kalani Brown, the other game we played like Elizabeth Williams. We played Cheyenne Parker. When we play a lot of these bigs, Jonquel, I don't know if she's really classified as a center to be dealing with that, especially on the offensive end when she's trying to back down these players and she's not going anywhere. She brings the ball down low. She's getting stripped. She tries to do that her one-legged fade sometimes, and it doesn't look seamless as like Kalani Brown. She posted up, hit her with a nice little spin move, little dream shake, up, under, and lay. It doesn't look efficient when Jonquel does it. So I think that's something that we just have to keep an eye on. See if it's just the foot injury. I know in the press conference they said her foot is fine and they're ramping her up to more minutes, no more minutes restriction. So it's just something to be aware of. So we're gonna look at some of the press conference. I'm gonna go through some of the things that I saw that the players said, that the coach said, and we'll go from there. Sandy Rondalo was asked about Maureen Johannes' defense. She said, Arike, that's one of the hardest guards to defend. Maureen's really a good defensive player. She's smart and she showed that. She's going to have to defend a lot of players and she's buying into that. And it definitely showed. When Maureen was on her, we forced her into tough shots, of course, with help. But it was a good showing because I know Arike wanted to pick on Sabrina and Vandersloot. Another one that I saw here was from Breanna Stewart. She mentioned about the team coming together as a group. We're having awareness of where each other are on the floor, and her teammates are helping her get into the right positions to have these nice offensive scoring nights. Coming out of halftime, Coach Brondello mentioned we just tweaked some of our defensive coverages. We didn't allow offensive rebounding, and we were able to get stops to get out and run. And it definitely showed on the box score that When they definitely came out in the second half, Dallas did not get as many offensive rebounds. And when we got the ball, we definitely got out and ran, and we scored a lot of shots off of those decisions. One more thing that I want to mention was Coach Brenda John Quell Jones. She said, "What's frustrating for her is that I preached patience. I thought she made big steps today. We're going to get more chemistry in the lineup as we go, and she's getting more comfortable. Her foot is fine." So that's a good sign. Her foot is fine. I know she's been coming off that injury, so hopefully it'll translate into her looking better on the court. Interesting stat before we go. Breanna Stewart, the seventh player in WNBA history to score at least 30 points with 0 free throw attempts. She didn't shoot a free throw yesterday, and she still had 32. So that goes to show you that even if she's not getting to the line, when she's getting those shots, when her shots falling, when we're passing the ball around, getting her into her spots, good things will happen. I know in that Atlanta Dream game on Friday, she was missing a lot of the mid-range jump shots that were wide open. Those same shots today, the same shots yesterday, she was taking and making. All right, guys. That's it for today's recap video. Liberty get the W. Thank God. Their next game will be on Tuesday at 8 p.m. I thought this game was going to be at 7, but now this game is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern time, down at Barclays Center. No watch along for that game. I will be at that game. The game will be on CBS Sports Network on national TV. So if you want to watch it, definitely check it out. We're playing the Dream again. This will be a Commissioner's Cup game. This will be the final one against the Dream. So we definitely want to win this to keep pace with the Connecticut Sun, who are playing really good basketball. Thanks for all of y'all who tuned into the watch along on Friday. Again, we had a good time in there. The next one for the Liberty will be not this Friday, but next Friday, because that's their next away game. I will try to do one for another WNBA team, probably the Aces, sometime at the end of this week. So be on the lookout for that, because I definitely like doing the watch alongs. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the noti button so you get notified anytime I post. Until next time, guys, salute.